Hola, familia de Jugamos Juntos Bádminton. En el día de hoy venimos con un vídeo muy especial. Les vamos a presentar a nuestro amigo Idrees, que nos va a presentar un proyecto muy interesante que también está relacionado con el mundo del bádminton y esperemos que les guste. ¡Vamos allá!
Oh, yeah. Hi, Idrees.
Hola, Alicia, Samuel. Nice to see you again.
Hi.
Thanks again for taking time to speak with us. Let's get started. So, first of all, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Firstly, thank you to Samuel and Alicia for inviting me on to do this interview. I'm very grateful and I really appreciate it. So I'm Idrees Afzal, or Dr. Idrees Afzal. So I have a PhD from Loughborough University in the UK. I'm from Bradford, which is in the north of the UK. I reside here. I work or have worked as a lecturer for 3.5 years in sport and exercise science. I also work as a sports scientist with numerous athletes and also different populations of people as well. So that's my background.
That's quite interesting. Now let's talk about your professional background. So, in one sentence, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, Alicia, I've been a lecturer for 3.5 years, so teaching students around the UK in various cities, Gloucester, Loughborough, and Leeds at various universities, teaching them on sport and exercise science, so mainly on the skill acquisition for coaching science. How do we coach? How do we learn skills? For example, like the short serve in badminton, the overhead smash, other shots, other sports, football, tennis, etc. I also work as a strength and conditioning coach, so I work with athletes and badminton players previously as well. One of them I'll speak about later in the interview as well, helping them to get stronger, faster, and quicker.
That's amazing. And
Yes.
however, besides all these interesting experience, badminton has also been a part of your life. So, tell us about that.
Absolutely. So I started playing badminton at the age of 15, where I am now actually in Bradford in the UK as a junior. So I was part of the regional or the county squad here in Bradford and in the UK. So I used to travel to tournaments. I was selected at a young age. I got like a trial, like I'm sure that some of the young players that you coach in Tenerife in Spain as well. There's some form of a kind of a recruitment day, or you go into different schools and you recruit juniors. I had something similar, so I went to a local kind of call up session. Where they were doing a recruitment day, and I got selected. I was very happy. My father was with me as well, so he took me along, and I yeah started. You asked first before that any of that. I just grabbed a racket, went to my local club that's 5-10 minutes down the road. I saw it on an advert on a flyer, and I got started playing like that. And went with my dad. He went with me. He used to take me down. And from there, I grew a passion like yourselves, really, with the what you've got going in Tenerife with JJAB, the Juntos. I'm doing a fantastic job of trying to pronounce it, but I'm hopefully, over time as we get to know
Thank
each
you.
other,
Thank you.
I'll be able to pronounce the name better. Started playing local league badminton at junior level, but with senior and older club players as well. And then I had my first kind of stint of playing school badminton competitively, but then into kind of county and regional tournaments, playing different counties, different regions in the UK. And then time went on. I finished my A levels, started my undergraduate degree at Sheffield Hallam University in the UK, and then started playing for the university team there. One of the coaches who was a former England international player, he coached me for 3 to 4 years. Really developed my game, brought in a lot of principles with physical preparation, strength conditioning. He brought that because I think I mentioned to you previously, I came from a very stereotypical, maybe racket sports background, where there wasn't much strength conditioning, much fitness, or much gym work. It was mainly just playing, having fun, and not dancing
Yes,
around, but
totally.
yeah, but having fun. So yeah, moved to uni, played over there, and then started playing national competitions from there on the circuit here. So yeah, that was my badminton journey.
Oh, that's pretty huge. So it's great. So I think that that's the starting of your new project that it's called Synergies. Can you talk about Synergies? What Synergies is?
Absolutely. No, thanks for asking, Alicia. Obviously, Samuel got in touch with me over LinkedIn when we first connected, and we met only last week. So it's fantastic to even have this kind of little mini interview and to have this conversation with you guys. But in brief, synergies. I mean, it's impossible to get all my background and things I've done over the last 15 years all into one interview. But synergies in a really short and concise and sweet way is all about collaborating and connecting with people like yourselves. It's about connecting with um, badminton players, people who have fallen in love with the sport, who might come from like a minority background, not like Indonesia and Malaysia where they're absolutely badminton crazy. Somewhere like like Tenerife maybe where badminton is very scarce. So
Yeah,
I can only applaud you guys for what you've done there in Tenerife, the recruitment that you've done, the participation that you've gained around
thank
there
you very much.
with badminton is amazing. So Synergies is a self-employed consultancy I've set up from all my experiences over the last 10 to 15 years in sports science support for athletes, para athletes like Campbell, who I talked to you guys before
Yeah,
last week.
that was a really nice story to hear
Yeah,
about.
I'm going to bring up a few photos on the website to show you as well, and for those on the YouTube channel with you guys too. The diverse populations I work with, not just badminton players. Some come from different backgrounds. I've worked with surgeons. I've worked with para athletes like Campbell, for example. So Synergies is all about connecting and collaborating with people like yourselves to be able to create what we're hopefully going to create in terms of maybe a virtual platform for not just for me, but for you guys to maybe connect with players in Spain, but also maybe globally as well. So Synergies is about helping to bridge that gap and helping to work together to be able to provide solutions for me, for you, and for everyone. So yeah, happy to share the website if you like me to do that, Alicia.
Yeah. Before that, how did the idea start? Like, when was the moment that you thought, let's get this done? You know?
Um, that's a really good question. So I left my lecturing position after 3.5 years in Manchester 8 months ago. I decided that whilst I enjoyed teaching and working at universities, that I felt that self-employment, where I could manage my own time, would give me more
Okay. Yeah.
opportunity and freedom, maybe a bit like yourselves as well. I know
Yeah.
you're a teacher as well, Alicia. Is that correct?
We're coaching. Yeah, we both coach.
Both coach, yeah. I felt as if it was an opportunity to give me more freedom and more opportunity to do things like this, to connect with people like yourselves, but to also open different doors in terms of my research, which I've not mentioned yet because there's so many different things to talk about with regards to the badminton research with the Badminton World Federation that I've got with various different projects there, working with yourselves on innovative and new projects in terms of participation, but also some of the sports science consultancy with athletes and the platform that this kind of affords me to be able to do as well. So that was the kind of the main driver for moving into self-employment and setting up synergies.
That's good. And can you tell us about your partners, like the people that are member of Synergies?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got some of the main collaborators. I'll bring that up on the website when I share it. But we've obviously got the Badminton World Federation, as I've just mentioned to you before. So they're the global organisation for badminton in the world. They run all the international tournaments. They've got the Serdiman Cup that they're organising at the moment. So I've got a relationship with them through my PhD. They funded my PhD project, which we're hopefully going to do another maybe small little piece on in a couple of weeks' time on a technical shot. Where I use the infrared motion capture cameras to capture the players. Um, So they funded that, and I've kept my relationship with them over the years. I've got a very good relationship with them. I've also got the Lawns Tennis Association, which is like Wimbledon. They organise like Wimbledon here in the UK with the tennis. I've got various athletes I've worked with from a physical preparation perspective, and then also GB Para Badminton with Campbell, the athlete I supported to win the national championships. So badminton, tennis. I've done a few bits with England golf as well last year. And whilst I was in Manchester, the university was ran by the class of '92, which is Manchester United. So Gary Neville, people your viewers might see on like Sky Sports, Paul Scholes, David Beckham. They basically ran the university. So we had athletes from Manchester United, from Gary Neville's football team, Salford City, and also Lancashire cricket. So I've been blessed and very lucky with the opportunities and connections I have. And now is the time to kind of see if I can be even more productive and effective by working with them more, but also what really excites me with you guys as well.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. So now it's time to you to show your website. Come on.
This is my website. Yeah, thanks again, Alicia, Samuel, for giving me the opportunity to share this with you. So this is Synergies. That's not me. That's a bit of a lookalike for the time being. But it is about one thing I've become more passionate about. Like I mentioned to you before, at the start of my journey, when I was a young person, I was just wanting to get on the badminton court, have fun. My dad was there and just hit shuttlecock. So I didn't really think about getting fit and strong and fast. Whereas when I've got older, I've realised for not just for performance for badminton, but actually for life and health and well-being, actually strength and conditioning is something that's really important. So this is with Synergies, this is something that I'm looking to support. I'm going to come on to the stories in a minute with Campbell over there, and also my PhD project, and Carolina Marin that I was speaking to you about her earlier as well, Samuel. But here are my services. So working with athletes as part of my sports performance package, working with executives, badminton coaching. I've got a few like different bits of like training videos I've got, and my kind of my little introduction there as well as to who I am. Hopefully I've covered that, and a few of the other kind of sporting organisations. And I didn't even get a chance to mention my link with Spain when I was I'd finished my up at Sheffield Hallam at university. I then finished my masters and I went to Spain and I lived there for 4.5 years in Oviedo in Asturias. Again, apologies for any pronunciation.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's good.
But I worked with Spanish badminton and one of the performance centers there. And it was actually that trip in Spain where I realized that sports science and physical preparation, because they were doing a lot of the good work that was being done by Carolina Marin and Fernando Rivas, who was her coach, who still is, I think he's still her coach. He instilled a lot of sports science in Spain. So a lot of the things I learned from that trip, I then took back home and thought, okay, I need to get better in terms of my understanding of rehabilitation, my understanding of strengthening, so that I can play better, but then also share and support other people as well. So yeah, we've got Spanish badminton. I mentioned the Lawns Tennis Association. Thongsbridge Tennis Club is a LTA, Lawns Tennis Association Development Centre here in the UK. I worked with them and some of the young junior athletes representing GB and county. We've also got the ECB, the English Cricket Board. I mentioned Lancashire Cricket, Loughborough Sport, where I did my PhD as well. So numerous different partnerships. I've also got some of the stories here with Campbell as well that I mentioned to you previously. So Campbell is one of the para badminton players, a really exciting project I started in 2021 with GB Para Badminton. So she had no badminton background when she first got in contact with me. She was a former national swimmer, but said that she wanted to get involved in the sport and do something new, and she wanted to potentially play on a national standard. So when she talked to me about all these things over the phone, I was like, okay, let's meet. And then obviously it was my first experience working with a para badminton athlete. So Campbell, just to give you,
That's quite a challenge.
it was, you're right, Alicia, it was a challenge. So I mean, I'll scroll down to the end, but So just to give you a brief description, Campbell has cerebral palsy, which means that the right side of her body was physically impaired. So trying to coach somebody who's new to the sport is has some challenges, but then trying to coach somebody with a physical impairment, brings about new kind of challenges and things that I need to work on with her. But I think, like I mentioned to you guys, I mean, she was working a full-time job whilst training with me at the same time. So she was waking up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, coming down to training at the University of Bradford, putting all the hard hours, doing her gym sessions well, and going to work. And for the majority of the time, she was self-funding it, like most para athletes have to do. A really interesting, um, very exuberant character to work with. She had a few things that she would get a bit upset and angry about, but for the most part, well, for the majority, yeah, definitely for the most part, she was a really dedicated individual. So she would always turn up to training on time. She'd always be very professional and very hardworking. You'd always get those key things every single training session. And I think with you guys as well, because I know you do some really good coaching. I've seen some of the videos online on your YouTube channel, and muy bien.
Thank you.
Said I told you I was going to put a Spanish word in there. That's my Spanish words for today. Yeah, some really good coaching content that you've got on there. But when you've got that basis and you've got people who are willing to put in the hard work and train hard, then it's very easy to coach them and make it enjoyable and help them to progress and develop. And Campbell was exactly the same. She was a pleasure to coach, and what we managed to achieve and what she managed to achieve, most importantly, was above and beyond her dreams and my wildest dreams. I mean, she's not just a national champion now, she's a triple national champion in mixed women's doubles and women's singles as of. So this story here that I've got was back in 2021. As of last year, 2024, she won the treble. So she won all three disciplines. So from where she was, no background in badminton 4 or 5 years ago, to winning the national doubles there and the mixed and the women's singles now. Um, Absolutely incredible. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the story with her. I think I'll leave it there just because I'm conscious of time. So I'll stop the share. And if you've got any other kind of questions and stuff, then we can maybe have a chat about it.
And Idris, if I want have a question about your service, what is the process? I can contact with Gmail, your telephone. I think that is very important. You explain.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I won't stop the screen share then. Maybe I'll put it back on. Sorry. So you've got the main website, so it's up there in terms of performance synergies. So it's performancesynergies.com. You
Okay.
can also find me um, on. I've got some details on the about page as well. All the
Okay.
information is on here. Then I've got my main kind of contact there. So I've got my
Okay.
That's
Perfect.
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 Gmail account there. So it's performancesynergies@gmail.com. But the website, you can find it easily on Google if you type in synergies, badminton synergies in Google or something along those lines. We've got a badminton service that I'm hoping to, develop with you guys as well, so that eventually you can set up your own fantastic and great website as well for the great work you're doing. But yeah, websites there, email address. I'm sure you guys can share with people too. So yeah.
Okay, very interesting, Idris. I have a question. In your experience about sports science, what is, in your opinion, the most important ability I have if I I want a very good player in badminton? You understand me?
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand you. So in terms of physical abilities for a badminton player, over my experiences of not just
Yes.
working
Yes.
with Campbell, but other junior athletes as well. Ooh, that's a good question. Obviously, it's discipline specific and dependent as well. Are they playing doubles? Are they playing singles? Then the physical abilities maybe change and differ. But generally, I would say I'll try and make this easy to understand as well. So I'd say it's rate of force development, but in simple words, that
Ok.
is ability to move explosively, power, move quickly. But the rate of force development is on a spectrum. For example, a power lifter or an Olympic weightlifter, like you see in the Olympics, would be on a different position or point on that spectrum compared to a badminton player. A badminton player moves very quickly, but with a very light implement, with a racket, whereas an Olympic weightlifter moves very quickly, but with a very heavy load.
Yes.
So the rate of force development is going to be faster for the badminton player than it is for the Olympic weightlifter. So badminton players need to be able to move explosively and quickly in a very short space of time. So you asked that question, the question, what one key aspect I would say is that.
Very interesting, very interesting.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much for your time. We want to know your opinion about playing together badminton. What do you think about this project?
That's a fantastic question, Alicia. What do I think about the project? I think I like, and I'm always honest about these things, and you two know that as well from when we spoke last week. And I think initially when I first received, I said this before, when I received the email, the message from Samuel, I thought, oh, not not demeaning it in any way, but this is just another message, participation, badminton, getting involved in a club. That's something that I maybe did 10, 15 years ago. And I thought, actually, when I said
Yeah.
this to you guys, maybe I'm just being a bit selfish here and a bit too single-minded. And I thought, oh, I've just opened my mind to it. And I had such a refreshing and fantastic conversation with you guys last week. It just it made me agree with what my initial thoughts were in terms of actually it's something that's really important. What you're doing is really important in terms of um, spreading the word for young people and getting them involved and bringing them into the sport. And also, when I saw your coaching videos with Samuel and yourself, Alicia, as well, the advertising you're doing, that exuberance, that personality that you're bringing, that fun side to it with all the YouTube videos and stuff and the virtual content is absolutely, muy bien, absolutely brilliant.
Thank
Granda,
you.
it's brilliant. And that's exactly what I want to get involved with. That's exactly how I got involved in the sport when I was younger, when I was 14, 15. That's exactly why I think it's brilliant what you're doing, and exactly why I'm really looking forward to working with you guys in the future.
Yeah, we really appreciate that because we're aware that you don't understand like half of the content, but it's really fun.
I can see
It's
it. I
okay.
can see it. It's okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Idrees. Thank you for your work. Bueno, familia de Jugamos Juntos Bádminton. Hoy hemos estado viendo un vídeo diferente a lo que solemos hacer. Hemos hablado de la ciencia del deporte con una persona pues muy interesante como es Idrees. Y nada, la verdad que darle las gracias por todo lo que nos ha enseñado hoy. La verdad que me apasiona ese proyecto que tiene en mente. Y lo más importante para nosotros es que quiero que estén atentos a los próximos vídeos porque vendremos con cosas muy interesantes relacionadas con la ciencia del deporte aplicada a nuestro deporte, al bádminton. Bueno, hasta la próxima. Nos vemos en la pista.